710 KEEL. KEEL.
Good morning, 603 Robert and Erin. It's 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Download it now. In the meantime, Erin's got local news up next, and she's getting ready.
If I told you there was a water billing problem, would you say Shreveport? Nope. Today we're talking Bossier.
Seriously?
Could Shreveport be getting a new police station? We'll talk more about that. And a health alert today about measles.
I talked to a friend of mine who was formerly, in the pharmaceutical business, and he explained the difference between OxyContin and marijuana. I know this sounds like a stupid thing to say, but it'll make sense when we replay the chat with Ag Commissioner Bill Strain about when's the medicinal marijuana.
Mike Strain.
What did I say?
Bill.
Who's Bill Strain?
I don't know
You know
Bill.
who that is? It's the road manager for TSO, Trans-Siberian
Okay.
Orchestra. Fletcher in sports, traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
information. KEEL News now.
Water billing system shut down due to a potential breach. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Bossier has shut down its online water bill payment system following a potential data breach. According to a statement from officials, several customers alerted the city of unauthorized charges on their accounts after they paid their water bill. A cybersecurity expert has been hired to investigate the potential breach, and experts are working on the site's software. If you notice any unauthorized charges on your account, contact your bank immediately. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Caddo Commissioner and mayoral hopeful Stephen Jackson got a racist, hate-filled flyer at his home this week. The letter featured an image of Jackson superimposed on a photo of former President Barack Obama being hung, and a message that warned Jackson to leave the race. The FBI now says they are investigating the situation. Could Shreveport be getting a new police station? According to CAO Brian Crawford, Mayor Tyler may ask Shreveporters to vote yes on a new police headquarters next year. Crawford says the potential project would cost $20 to $25 million. He says the current facility is a money pit and would cost more than $2 million just to upgrade. However, before the issue could go to the voters, Tyler would have to be reelected. Health alert today. Federal officials say measles outbreaks have been confirmed in several states. Louisiana is on the list of 21 states with measles cases. Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma are also included. So far, more than 100 people in the affected areas have contracted the virus. Health officials say measles are especially serious for babies and children under age 5. They say parents should take steps to protect their children. The first medical pot is on track to be planted today after a successful meeting between the Ag Department, the Ag Center, and GB Sciences. It's a temporary go-ahead for GB, who provides the plants for LSU. Ag Commissioner Mike Strain telling KEEL News they had to survey the facility before giving the thumbs up.
We have to look at that prior to when they put the plants in to make sure that everything is up to par, that it's clean, that it's in a proper environment to grow the product.
The first medical marijuana expected to hit select pharmacies beginning in November. Education Superintendent John White says it's time to start paying our state's teachers more money. White says that the recovery of the economy has helped with stability in the budget, and now's the time to make sure teacher pay keeps up with competition. He says the message is very clear.
We have to increase teacher pay. It has to happen now. We should consider as we do that how we're being sensitive to teachers who are most in demand.
White says the state has the biggest need in STEM teachers, adding the biggest demand for talent is not other state school systems, it's other industries. Shortly after her death yesterday from pancreatic cancer, Aretha Franklin's family issued a statement, quote, "In one of the darkest moments of our lives, we're not able to find the appropriate words to express the pain in our heart. We've lost the matriarch and the rock of our family." Aretha Franklin died at age 76. She was the first female solo performer to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And from Georgia, where police say a man is accused of crawling into bed with his son's girlfriend and trying to have sex with her. The man now claims he was sleepwalking, but he's facing a rape charge. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. First traffic update of the day. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Is a free download and presented by Office Furniture Source. Okay, so what was it you said yesterday when we were talking, in fact, for a couple of days? Because Erin wants to know, hey, where's my marijuana? Okay, it's medicinal marijuana, and it's originally it was supposed to be at pharmacies across the state this month, right?
Mm-hmm. September.
But because of bureaucracy, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because of all what?
Well, once we get into this interview, you'll see why I want...
Go ahead, explain to us.
Well, yeah,
this is a replay.
It just seems like Mr. Mike might think he's a bit more important than he actually is.
He makes this sound, let's be blunt, as we get into this interview with Mike Strain about the delivery of the medicinal marijuana and the hoops that the supplier, GB Systems, Sciences has to jump through. He does, in fact, make it sound sort of like the Manhattan Project.
Look.
Which
Look, one of his quotes was, "We ain't growing pot in a hop house out here." Well, actually, you're in a shed.
It sound like Boss Hog.
Well, he reminds me of Boss Hog, but that's a different story.
Since you brought that up, and before we start the replay, what was the big point you've tried to make the last couple of days about medicinal marijuana and the fact that, and this is legit, and I did not know this, that whatever the chemical is in regular plant marijuana that gets you high, that is removed from medicinal marijuana. Is it THC? I don't know.
No, THC is the good stuff. There's other stuff in pot that gives you that psychoactive effect. But
okay.
Yeah.
So whatever that is that gets you high has been removed. And the point you made was...
Well, I just thought it was kind of funny that they're putting in so much time and effort into making sure people don't get high on that damn pot. But, you know, Oxycontin and all this other stuff that's highly addictive and will mess you up.
Hang on just a second.
Hey, let's just feed these people to folks like Tic Tacs.
I spoke to a pharmaceutical rep yesterday who said the following. I even wrote it down. The pain-easing element of Oxycontin is the narcotic. The pain-easing element of marijuana is not. Does that explain it to you?
I mean, a guy that sells drugs is not going to, well, we're screwing people over.
I'm not sure that medicinal marijuana is going to have a specifically high street value. Okay, here we are yesterday with Ag Commissioner Mike Strain, and we started off, what is the status, for the love of God, man, of Erin's medicinal marijuana?
Yeah.
We had a meeting. We met with GB Sciences. We met with them for about 4 hours, going through line by line their what's called the standard operating procedures, and also working on their timetables. We're going to allow them to operate from a temporary facility that is housed adjacent to the permanent facility, what's called a pod. And what the pod means is that it's a self-contained single unit. And so we do expect that they will probably be able to set the tissue cultures, they're not plants, they're tissue cultures, and start hopefully by Friday evening or Saturday morning. So we were there with them for about 4 hours yesterday. We do have inspectors at their facility today. We have to give it a final inspection, make sure everything's clean and everything is in place as they start the process to make sure that, you know, when they get this crop grown out, they'll be able to use the product. There won't be any contaminations or anything of that nature.
So this is...
both teams have been working together very, very hard. And again, the standard operating procedures have to be in place because that governs how they grow it. That governs all the rules, everything from the type of water they use to any pesticides if they need it, where everything is stored, how you dispose of waste, the tracking systems that have to talk, you know, security, transportation, all of those many issues. But we're moving along, and hopefully we will have them where they have the ability to start their cultures. And that's where they're starting from what's called a tissue culture, which is think of a slice of a plant. Think of that, a very small slice of plant. And they can start the initial grow out of X number of plants.
I would assume that the bar is so high, pardon me, that the bar is so high because this is going to be medicine, right?
Yes, and if you think about what happens if you have a drug that is approved by the FDA on the federal level, it takes 5 to 10 years, right, to get to market. We're trying to, you know, we're doing this in less than 2 years, but this particular phase, you know, working with these approvals to do it in a few months, takes a tremendous amount of work because, again, we have to work together to develop all of this. This is all new. I mean, this is, you know, to develop a drug from these particular, you know, these plants. And so we have to work together to make sure everything's done exactly right because there is no margin of error because this is a drug that's going to people that are ill.
Mike, let me ask you, some of the folks are saying that this was supposed to be ready in September. Now it looks like November, and they've accused your department of dragging your feet. You're saying you're just getting all the I's dotted.
Well, the thing of it is, when you're working like the standard operating procedures, they have to be right. And so everything has to be right. And we are the chief regulator, and we are responsible to make sure that the growing, the extraction, the transportation, the delivery of this compound is right. And we are working, you know, we have a team in place. You know, we've hired a number of people to do this. We've been working diligently. And I know everybody is anxious, but it's going to be done right, period. And that's why the responsibility for this was put in our agency.
So, Mike, when can Robert go to the pharmacy in Shreveport and get his medical marijuana for his glaucoma?
Well, hopefully if they can get the plants set this weekend. We hope that they will have tissue culture starting. And then, you know, the grow out is probably, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks, and it depends. The extraction press, right, the method, that has not even been set up. So on their side, they don't have all their equipment in place. So we're moving to get them approved, a temporary, you know, provisional approval to move forward, but they don't have all their equipment in place. So, you know, this thing is going to take a little time. I think they'll have their equipment. It's delivered, but it's not set up. It hadn't been tested, you know, for the extraction. I'm sure it's going to work. But again, I do think, you know, they're working in real time. We're working in real time.
Mike, what is the difference? What is the difference?
You know, I think hopefully maybe by the end of September, just depends on how long it takes to grow the product.
What is the difference in standards for medicinal marijuana as opposed to recreational marijuana in a state like Colorado or Oregon?
Well, I guess in Colorado or Oregon, in the recreational marijuana, they're growing out a plant. And here we are making a pharmaceutical drug, and we are charged with oversight of every aspect of that. So that, in other words, when that drug, when you receive it, it'll have no pesticide in it. It'll have no heavy metals in it. It will have no bacteria in it. It's got to be a pure form. So think about if you go into a pharmaceutical company where they're making an antibiotic, right? You think about the processes and how clean that's got to be. This is not a hothouse growing marijuana. The marijuana is grown in order to provide the base for the drug. This is manufacturing a pharmaceutical product. So it's not just, quote, again, growing marijuana in a hothouse and you're going to sell marijuana pods and people are going to smoke it. We're making medicine.
Mike, can I ask you a silly question?
Sure.
When you take the marijuana plants and you get the medicinal stuff out of them, the weeds and all the junk that's left over, can that be an export to Colorado?
No, ma'am. It has to be destroyed.
Well, how are you going to destroy it? What are you doing? When's that party?
That's part of the standard operating procedure that is confidential in nature.
Really?
No, ma'am, I can't tell you that. No, because, again, that's part of those things that are there because I can't tell you how we're going to dispose of it because we want to make sure that it is totally destroyed and disposed, but that's part of what's in those procedures, exactly how it's done, to where it is rendered unusable. But once it's extracted, there's not really anything there, but we have disposal mechanisms in place. That is proprietary in nature.
Is there just the one grower, GB Sciences? Are there plans down the road to perhaps contract out to other growers?
Well, currently LSU and Southern have the licenses. The GB Sciences is the sole subsidiary of LSU. They are LSU's contractor. And so whether or not LSU contracts with another firm, that would be a decision by LSU. We cannot grant any other licenses, only one to LSU and one to Southern. And so that would be a question really to LSU. I don't think that they would. They would probably just expand the company there, but that's the decision I think LSU would make. But then we would have to go through the entire approval process, including the suitability and background check.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic for Friday. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-four past 6 o'clock, time for KEEL Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints host Arizona tonight in the second preseason game for both. Whether Drew Brees sees his first action remains to be seen. Sean Payton, when asked about his quarterback's playing time earlier this week, said, "We'll see." Last night, Tom Brady saw extensive action in a Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles, completing 19 of 26 passes for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 37-20 win. Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles had to leave the game in the second quarter with a shoulder injury incurred on a strip sack that resulted in a 64-yard fumble return for a Patriots score. Washington slipped past the Jets 15-13, and the Packers walloped Pittsburgh 51-34. Former Louisiana Tech standout Tramon Williams had a pick six on the game's first play to get Green Bay rolling. The Angels had the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the fourth, in a 6-3 lead. A one-hop smash to Urickson Profar led to a 5-4 triple play and set up a Rangers 8-6 comeback win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So you have a request in to the city for an interview with Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets the message in time.
Would this have to do with a police station?
Yeah, I want to find out a little bit more about the police station. We've heard him. You know, you and I have been getting the texts and seeing the pictures.
Hold on,
about how bad it is.
Second, yeah.
The bathrooms and air conditioning is out and.
Running the big fans that are stinking up the place.
Right.
No, I don't have the text from yesterday, but I did receive a text from a Shreveport officer that said that there were rumors among the officers that the mayor was going to tour, that the mayor, Miss Ollie, was going to tour the police station.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she did or not. I wanted to ask you this question because I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I would answer it. If you came to work every day, and let's say it was 90 degrees in here.
And nothing worked.
And you could smell the bathroom in here. Would you pitch a little diva fit?
Especially if there were 300 of me all carrying guns.
I mean, at what point do you say,
this is unacceptable?
This is an unacceptable workplace.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you need your job.
That's
I know you've got a retirement.
Fascinating point, Olive.
I wonder at what point you and I would go, this is not acceptable. And, I can't work under these conditions. This is a hostile work environment in my terms. I'm sweating every day just sitting inside in my job.
Well, a lot of them don't stay there.
No, they don't. And there's a big difference.
But they have meetings. They have, I don't
Absolutely.
know.
And the public has to go there. The public has to go there to pay tickets, to go, to handle their business, whatever. And of course, I haven't toured it recently, so I'm not speaking from firsthand knowledge, but I have gotten photos and videos from people inside showing me the fans and the condition of the men's bathroom. I was actually asked to go down there and bring a man with me and do a video inside the bathroom.
From inside the SPD. I never did hear if she actually came, and if she did, what the result was. Find out when I get to work in another few minutes and see if anybody knows anything. But there's now a proposition, so to speak, on the table for a new police department.
Yeah.
Where we'd build it, I don't know. I got an idea.
Cross Bayou.
Sears. How's about the Sears building? And I'm being totally serious. We've got a lot of empty stuff. Do we need something new? There's a lot of places to park. Look, I don't know whether that's a legitimate suggestion or not. But we have a lot of empty buildings in this town.
My problem is that a new police station would cost about $25 million. That's what they're saying now. So you can bump that up by 10% because you know how that works.
Look, Sears.
But wait, let me make my point.
Even has a garage.
Let me make my point.
Go ahead.
$25 million to build a new one, $2 million to upgrade. If you're a city with no money,
why not upgrade?
Why not the $2 million to upgrade?
Well, because I think the term money pit was used, and what you fix now doesn't mean that everything's going to be fixed down the line.
It could be $2 million a year.
Like
do we want to spend $2 million a year on it to fix it?
Like buying a big old house in Highland, you know?
I understand that.
Looks nice, but...
But would you vote yes on a proposition for a new police station?
Write that down. Question for the mayoral candidates. 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin, local news next. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive near Southfield Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
No more online payment for water bills in Bossier City after a data breach is discovered. Anyone that used the city's website to make a payment of their Bossier City water bill could be at risk. You're urged to check your bank account for any suspicious charges. Several water customers have alerted the city to unauthorized charges on cards they used to pay their city water bills. A cybersecurity expert has been brought in to investigate. Investigation into a racist letter to a mayoral candidate is underway. Matt Parker with the latest.
Caddo Commissioner and mayoral hopeful Stephen Jackson received a racist, hate-filled flyer at his home Wednesday morning. The letter featured an image of Jackson superimposed on a photo of former President Obama being hung and a message that warned Jackson to leave the race and leave the Confederate monument alone. The FBI told KSLA Thursday that they are aware of the situation and are ready to investigate if local authorities determine there has been a federal offense. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Could Shreveport be getting a new police station? According to CAO Brian Crawford, Mayor Ollie Tyler says the potential project would cost $20 to $25 million. He says the current facility is a money pit and would cost more than $2 million to upgrade. However, before the issue could go to voters, Tyler would have to be reelected. Scammer back in jail after another scheme is foiled by police. According to authorities, Wade May is once again behind bars after he allegedly was caught using a reloadable pay card that had a zero or negative balance to get cash advances. If you love vacationing along the Florida Gulf Coast, listen up. Toxic algae continues to choke off the beaches along the west coast of Florida as the deadly red tide bloom continues to kill fish. Christian DiMarzio from Orlando said he and a friend were calling beach resorts to make sure they were clear of the deadly algae.
I am concerned about it coming up here, yeah. Before we came over to this beach, I looked into it because I'd heard it was coming all the way up the west coast. And we almost went to the east coast instead, but we called around and it looked like it was fine.
Pinellas County officials worry they may soon be forced to close their beaches as the red tide approaches their waters. New voting machines are coming to Louisiana, but the price is now set around $90 to $95 million, up from the projected $60 million. The recent bidding process was also accused of being rigged by a contractor that was passed over for the voting machine purchase. Secretary of State candidate A.G. Crow says he's doing his part to have the activity investigated.
I put together a memo to the Attorney General's office asking them to look into this alleged irregularity and see exactly what's going on.
He says Louisiana residents cannot afford such a massive purchase being fumbled by suspicious activity. Aretha Franklin fans are remembering the singer at her birthplace in Memphis, and some of them shared their memories with Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Standing in the front yard of 406 Lucy Street, where Aretha Franklin was born, I met Aretha Jones. She's a longtime fan of the singer, and yes, she was named for her.
My mother loved Aretha Franklin.
Jones told me she comes from a gospel family, and those were the albums that really spoke to her.
That's what I grew up listening to. My mother and father had all of her albums and everything.
Aretha Franklin's birthplace is now littered with flowers, teddy bears, notes, and other memorials to remember the Queen of Soul's roots. In Memphis, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
News from the grocery world today. Kroger is testing driverless cars to make grocery deliveries to customers. It's being piloted right now in a Phoenix suburb. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, 637. Okay, so GeekCon, the official opening, I guess, is not till tomorrow, but everybody can go tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of a preview night.
So it starts at 6 at Convention Center, presented by Margaritaville.
Yeah.
This year, the big sponsor.
Free military and first responders tonight, thanks to batteries plus bulbs. Free parking tonight, thanks to Pop-A-Lock. Kids 10 and under are free.
Okay, so tonight is like the soft opening, but everybody can go.
Oh, everybody will be there.
And in fact, Parky, you know, what's the movie tonight? What time does that start?
Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think it starts right around 7.
Right around 7.
And this is, believe it or not, the 25th anniversary of that movie.
And the reason they're showing it is one of our guests this weekend is Chris Sarandon, who is the voice of Jack Skellington in the movie.
Wasn't he Chris Sarandon for a while? Who was he married to?
Susan.
That's an easy one.
Susan Sarandon.
Yes, but after,
you called him Sarandon
because right after they divorced, he changed the pronunciation of his name.
Oh, did he really?
He went to Sarandon for a bunch of years, and then that just didn't. Then he went back to Sarandon.
Do you know they have like 2,000 seats for the movie tonight?
It's free, by the way.
It's free. It's going to be awesome.
And there's over 100 vendors tonight, so you can check out all the stuff that's there, make your plans for purchases, check out a movie. It's going to be fun.
I'm worried about my Wonder Woman costume.
Me too.
Too much cleavage.
I'm thinking probably it's been lost by porters.
And if not,
can we pray?
What a coincidence.
I got to make a phone call and slip someone a 20.
Yeah. Dear Mark, want to pick up an extra C note?
Lose that costume.
Erin said, well, when does everything start tonight? And we mentioned 6 o'clock. And she said, well, how long does it go? And I said, Matt said, I assume until the movie's over.
Yeah.
And people sort of
get out.
File out.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
What was it? 100 or so vendors will be there tonight also.
Over 100 vendors. There's going to be, if you're in the comic books, they'll have that. There's all sorts of cool stuff out there.
And it's not even officially open yet.
Please, you have to make a pledge.
What's that?
I, Robert J. Wright.
Robert J. Wright.
Pledge.
Not
to wear my Green Hornet onesie.
No. 639, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert's costume, brought to us by Porter's Cleaners. Shrinkage brought to us by Age.
Ye gods.
Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 18 before 7 o'clock. Sorry. So you've been going through the list of all of the. It's basically everything you wanted to know, or in fact might not have wanted to know about Aretha Franklin.
You did not know this. Aretha Franklin was 76.
Yeah.
She has a 64-year-old son and a 62-year-old son.
Stop a second. What?
Do the math. She has a 64-year-old son and a 62-year-old son.
She was how old? 70?
She was 12 when she had her first baby.
Yeah.
And she had another one 2 years later. She's never disclosed the fathers of those sons. She had several other children. She was in a domestic abuse relationship from 61, I think, through like 68. She got a divorce finally.
Right.
She was in another unhealthy marriage.
Isn't that interesting? Well, probably because of Ike Turner's fame.
But age 12.
I was going to say she never got the what's the word I am looking for? She was never put on a pedestal as was Tina Turner.
No.
For escaping and fighting back in that abusive marriage with Ike Turner that Tina had.
Right.
But that is probably because her husband wasn't famous.
Yeah. And you may not know this, but the two sisters she has, there was quite the rivalry as to who would become the singer, the famous singer in the family.
That was one of the not-so-subtle homages, and be it a tribute or a salute or an insult, however you want to look at it, in the Kevin Costner Bodyguard movie with Whitney Houston.
Right.
Where there was this, remember, because she and her sister had grown up singing in the family,
yes.
and her sister ended up, trying to kill her.
I saw another, I think they replayed the VH1 Divas show, because it was the one where Aretha is on stage and all of them are about to sing You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Carole King is standing there next to Aretha. Carole King is supposed to sing the opening line, and Aretha took it over. I mean, Aretha, she never even got to. Aretha took it over. She started in, and she belted it the whole way through.
So Aretha said, no, I'm singing the song you wrote because I'm a better singer than you.
No, she pulled a diva card.
Because I'm Aretha.
And Carole King was okay with that. I mean, she kind of stepped back and let her go. She's Aretha.
Now, there's divas and there's divas.
Yeah.
The more you read about Aretha Franklin, the more you realize Aretha loved her some Aretha.
Oh, I would have been just like her. But think about this. First female solo performer inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Aretha Franklin. What year did we say? 87?
87.
Yeah. First, she forever, her family can say, Mom, Grandmom was the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
She also has one of the greatest lines in movie history. In the Blues Brothers, you know, they go into the soul food diner.
Yep, she owned the diner.
And they're sitting there, and they make their food order, and she goes in the back and says to, what was the guitar player's name? Matt Morgan or Matt Smith or something like that.
The one who was married to Gilda Radner.
Yeah. And he says, she says, we got two honkies out there dressed like Hasidic diamond merchants, which is one of the funniest lines I've ever heard.
Now, speaking of money, speaking of payments, she had a couple of strange habits.
I love this. Even in the club days when she was playing in clubs, she demanded to be paid in cash.
Nothing good comes of that.
She wanted cash money. Even if it was like a $100,000 gig, she would always say, I want $25,000 in cash. And what she did with that money, believe it or not, I know you think that's the money she used to pay her staff. And that's how she got in IRS troubles.
She got in IRS troubles because she didn't claim that 25 or whatever amount it was in cash.
No. To be honest, it's that she didn't report. She didn't report the salaries she paid to all her people.
Well, later on, she ended up paying close to $1 million to the IRS, and in fact, they issued liens against her house.
Yep.
And the IRS don't. In fact, here it is. In 1993, the IRS, blah, 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 disputed her tax deductions, including nearly $237,000 paid as part of a judgment for failing to perform at a concert, et cetera, et cetera. And this is just the first time. $225,000 in back taxes. Later, she put not $490,000 more she owed, et cetera. In 1999, the Detroit Free Press reported she was named in about 30 lawsuits. This is how you'd be. This is you with cash. In 99, the Detroit Free Press found she was named in about 30 lawsuits alleging she had skipped payments on everything from plumbing services to limo rides to flowers. She said the story was malicious and vicious and blamed missed payments on travel and performance schedule and employees that she couldn't count on.
Yeah. She was paid probably upwards of $1 million. If you remember the Snickers commercial, she's the diva in the back seat. She's going all diva on everybody until they hand her a Snickers.
What was her net worth? Did you?
Yeah, her net worth, it depends on who you look at, but if you average them all up, it looks to be about $80 million. Homes in California, Detroit. I believe she still has a home in Memphis. She has some property in several places.
How legitimate, most of the things you see on the internet about people's net worth is terribly off.
Yeah.
And bluntly put, in most cases, excessively high. What was the actress we had last year?
Kelly Hu. I was about to bring that up.
Kelly Hu. So one of my jobs last year at GeekCon was to babysit, if you will, actress Kelly Hu. And we were talking a little bit, and we just, as a lark, looked up her net worth on the internet. And one of the internet sites said Kelly Hu was worth between $12 and $14 million.
Whoa.
And Kelly Hu looked at me and she says, don't take this the wrong way, but if I was worth $14 million, I wouldn't be in Shreveport this weekend. 649, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Your money now just ahead. Here's Ruben Traffic Update.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive near Southfield Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The KEEL News team knows what's happening in our city, and we bring you the story first. Your home for breaking news and trending talk is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEELnews.com. KEELnews.com.
It's 8 before 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints host Arizona tonight in the second preseason game for both. Whether Drew Brees sees his first action remains to be seen. Sean Payton, when asked about his quarterback's playing time earlier this week, said, "We'll see." Last night, Tom Brady saw extensive action in a Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles, completing 19 of 26 passes for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 37-20 win. Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles had to leave the game in the second quarter with a shoulder injury incurred on a strip sack that resulted in a 64-yard fumble return for a Patriots score. Washington slipped past the Jets 15-13, and the Packers walloped Pittsburgh 51-34. Former Louisiana Tech standout Tramon Williams had a pick six on the game's first play to get Green Bay rolling. The Angels had the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the fourth, and a 6-3 lead. A one-hop smash to Urickson Profar led to a 5-4 triple play and set up a Rangers 8-6 comeback win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. So whose suggestion, and is it a serious suggestion, to build a new police station for Shreveport?
There have been several people that have been working on this. I think Brian Crawford may be leading the charge for the city in terms of, if Mayor Tyler is reelected, we really need to look at doing something with the police station. And here are a couple of our options. One would be a new police headquarters.
If it's that great an idea, why not try it before the election?
I mean, they'll be asked about it. I'm sure Mayor Tyler will be asked about it.
So you think she's going to make it a campaign issue if I'm reelected?
This is what I'm taking to the voters. And it would have to go to the voters. They would have to approve it and say yes to it. And if the voters said no, then you would have to continue to patchwork the existing police headquarters.
From inside the SPD, I do agree with you guys that we don't need a brand new building. We can just retrofit one of the existing buildings that we already have. More on this just after 7 o'clock, plus in less than an hour. State Attorney General Jeff Landry sort of give you a basis of what that's all about in the first segment after 7 o'clock. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, here's Rush.
New York liberals are in a full-blown panic over a new rule being considered by the Trump administration. According to this new rule, people cannot become legal permanent residents in America if they rely on government welfare. Legal residents must be able to sustain themselves. Left thinks that's outrageous. Actually, the law's been on the books for over 100 years. The Trump administration is just planning to enforce it. But according to the New York Times, this could hurt 1 million people living in New York City. Now let that sink in. 1 million immigrants in New York City are dependent on some form of welfare. Those government benefits include direct cash payment, food stamps, housing subsidies, transit subsidies, low-income tax credits, and more. New York liberals are livid. They say enforcing the law would humiliate immigrants and hurt their children. Governor Cuomo threatening to sue. Well, how about the taxpayers stuck paying for people who would never be here if our laws were enforced in the first place? There's zero concern for them. Did you hear about Lena Dunham? Celebrates her hysterectomy with nude photos? This is just stupid. All of this is just stupid.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-605-1673. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-605-1673. That's 800-605-1673.
.659, good morning. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Hang on a second or two. Fox News just ahead. Right now, traffic time.
Still keeping a close eye on that slow-moving traffic on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Brownlee Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning, 703 Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. And Erin has local news up next.
Teachers need more money. That's what the state superintendent says. Trouble with the water bill payment. Not talking Shreveport today. And could Shreveport be getting a new police station?
State Attorney General Jeff Landry, I think he's my new hero. We'll sort of talk about why that is. And he will join us at about 7:40. And a little more about the possibility and the money math. Does it make sense for a new police station for Shreveport? Traffic and weather, sports. Fletcher will be here all this hour coming up on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Education Superintendent John White says it's time to start paying the state's teachers more money. White says Louisiana was at the southern regional average just recently as just a few years ago, but we've recently even fallen behind that.
The funding formula for K-12 education has increased, but it hasn't increased at a rate necessary to keep up with our competitors.
White says the state has the biggest need in STEM teachers, adding the biggest demand for talent is not other state school systems, it's other industries.
It's competing with Exxon and Chevron and all of these extraordinary organizations that recruit math and science majors into their organizations and pay them lucrative salaries.
Bossier shuts down its online water bill payment system following a potential data breach. According to a statement, several customers alerted the city of unauthorized charges on their accounts after they paid their water bill. A cybersecurity expert's been hired to investigate the potential breach, and experts are working on the site's software. Investigation into a racist letter to a mayoral candidate is underway. Commissioner and mayoral hopeful Stephen Jackson got a racist, hate-filled flyer at his home this week. The letter featured an image of Jackson superimposed on a photo of former President Obama being hung, and a message that warned Jackson to leave the race. The FBI says they are looking into it. Could Shreveport be getting a new police station? Matt Parker takes a look.
According to City CAO Brian Crawford, Mayor Ollie Tyler may ask Shreveporters to vote yes on a new police headquarters in 2019. Crawford says the potential project would cost $20 to $25 million. He says that the current facility is a money pit and would cost more than $2 million to upgrade. However, before the issue could go before voters, Tyler would have to be reelected. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The first medical marijuana on track to be planted today after a successful meeting between the Ag Department, the LSU Ag Center, and GB Sciences gives the green light for GB to start the process. Ag Commissioner Mike Strain telling KEEL News the grower is prepping to begin growing, but they aren't starting from the place you might expect.
They have the tissue culture is actually what they're starting from. It's not plants or seeds, but tissue culture.
Strain says the facility and GB Sciences still have some hurdles to clear for permanent authorization. He says they'll need to discover whether or not pesticides will be necessary for the growth of the treatment.
As a last resort, if it is necessary, they have to be approved by us, specifically not only the type of pesticide, but also how it is used.
The Vatican expressing shame and sorrow over a scathing Pennsylvania grand jury report about clergy who raped and molested children in that statement. A Thursday statement from the Holy See calls the abuse criminally and morally reprehensible. To the world, Aretha Franklin was the queen of soul, but to residents in Detroit, she was their queen and the city's favorite daughter. She earned that reputation not just for what she accomplished, but also for staying true to her Motor City roots. She was the first female solo performer to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Traffic for us. Here's Ruben.
Starting to see some backed up traffic on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Olmenden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Ace producer Matt Parker, his finger edging ever nearer the Jack Spring electric shockbuster button, just in case. In fact, he's got a back scratcher over there, sort of like, well, you have kind of a back scratcher, but you've chewed on it to this point.
Yeah, I have.
We were talking a couple of seconds ago, related to nothing, that you've got, okay, you listen to what percentage of music at home on a turntable?
At home, like 95%.
In fact, it's not really a turntable. It's more like, and I mean this in the most respectful way, it's more like a record player.
Yeah, like the Barbie record player.
Mickey Mouse, you close the lid and it plays.
Yeah.
No, I don't. You can see pictures of it online, but
it is a pretty awesome. I mean, it's 21st century technology in a box, in a case that looks mid-1950s.
Where'd you get it?
I bought it online. It's made by Crosley. It's the Bermuda model, and it looks like it came out in 1958.
It's
like a tiki
awesome
lounge.
looking. And you mentioned you were listening to Dave Brubeck last night.
Yep, Time Out.
Jazz pianist Dave Brubeck. There is, if you ever want to see something so awesome, the Dave Brubeck and his group, the most famous tune of theirs is an instrumental, obviously, because they're jazz guys, called Take 5. And it's about 7 minutes long, and it's incredible. But the point being, there is on YouTube an old black and white, it's almost a kinescope from the early 1960s, mid-1960s, from a local TV station in Chicago. And it's like, jazz time here in Chicago. I mean, that's the way the guy talks on the show.
Wow.
And here they are, the Dave Brubeck Quartet. And they play Take 5. The point is this. All of them are wearing the same Blues Brothers-looking suit with the black ties, they're about as thick as my finger.
Oh, my goodness.
They're all wearing the same glasses that look like, so thick you could see the future. And they're all so high that they couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch these guys, 4 guys, 5 guys, on stage in Chicago at this local TV station, and they are so high. They can't even focus their eyes on each other.
But you know what? They hit every freaking note and kill it. If you guys want to watch the video, I just went to YouTube. Just type in Dave Brubeck Take 5. It's the 4th video down, and it is
the
killer.
Chicago TV station,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. Jeff Landry, State Attorney General Jeff Landry, joins us in just about 30 minutes. And he's my new hero. You know what? The best defense is a good offense.
Yeah.
Louisiana Attorney General Landry and the state's bond commission deny $600 million to Citibank, Bank of America, over those banks' gun control stances. Citibank and Bank of America were both said to be part of a road financing plan for the state of Louisiana, but have been omitted from the financial plan after those two financial institutions arbitrarily placed new gun controls on banking customers, i.e., well, I'll get to those, but basically they said, if you exercise your constitutional rights, we're not going to loan you money. If you exercise your constitutional right as guaranteed by the Second Amendment, we don't want you to, not only do we not want you to be our customer, if you are currently our customer, we will discriminate against you.
We're not going to do business with you anymore.
Well, Landry and State Treasurer John Schroeder have been working on the state's response, in this case fiscal, to those institutions' corporate gun control measures for some time. And Citibank and Bank of America have now been omitted by the tune of $600 million.
They've been iced out.
In March, here's a little detail on what the two were doing. In March, it was reported that Citibank's new gun control regulations required gun store customers to stop selling, quote, high-capacity magazines in order to do business with the bank. What? You're a gun store owner, and you want to expand your business? You want to take out a loan because you want to buy more inventory? You want to give your employees a raise? Well, we see that you sell high-capacity magazines, high-capacity as defined by us, the financial institution.
So we're not going to do business with you.
We're not even going to. We want you to keep your money here, but don't come to us for a loan.
Citibank also requires businesses to refuse long gun sales to anyone between 18 and 20, even though those sales are legal in every other transaction. Citibank says, nope, not going to do business with you if you continue to sell these long guns to that age group.
Then about a month later, Bank of America was reportedly reworking their policy so as to end associations with customers who make, here's their quote, make military-style firearms for civilians. The point is, Bank of America doesn't differentiate between military rifles that are fully automatic and illegal to be sold to the general public, whereas civilian firearms like AR-15s, etc., are only semi-automatic, i.e. one trigger pull, one bullet fired.
Now, the vote at the Bond Commission, it was 7-6. I'm going to look up and see who voted how, to prohibit Citigroup and Bank of America from participating in the coming bond sale because of their corporate gun policies.
So we're going to talk to Mr. Jeff just about 7:40 or so, and he can give us all the details. But I'm not surprised, because you do have these big banks, these big corporations, and it's always this sort of bromide that those Republicans, they're just in bed with all the big banks and the big corporations. Well, in this case, Bank of America and Citibank, obviously following the Democrat Party ideology.
Yep.
That's and trying to subtly, or if you're in business, not so subtly,
right,
impose gun control, not legislation. And that's the whole point. It's not legislation. These two financial institutions are saying to American business people that if you want to exercise your Second Amendment rights as guaranteed by the Constitution, we're not going to loan you money. In fact, we will go out of your way to damage your business.
Right.
19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that slow-moving traffic on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Brownlee Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-one past 7 o'clock, KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints host Arizona tonight in the second preseason game for both. Whether Drew Brees sees his first action remains to be seen. Sean Payton, when asked about his quarterback's playing time earlier this week, said, "We'll see." Last night, Tom Brady saw extensive action in a Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles, completing 19 of 26 passes for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 37-20 win. Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles had to leave the game in the second quarter with a shoulder injury incurred on a strip sack that resulted in a 64-yard fumble return for a Patriots score. Washington slipped past the Jets 15-13, and the Packers walloped Pittsburgh 51-34. Former Louisiana Tech standout Tramon Williams had a pick six on the game's first play to get Green Bay rolling. The Angels had the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the fourth, and a 6-3 lead. A one-hop smash to Urickson Profar led to a 5-4 triple play and set up a Rangers 8-6 comeback win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 23 past 7 o'clock. So we had gotten texts from inside the Shreveport Police Department over the last few days that Miss Ollie Mayor Tyler may, in fact, have had a plan or plan to tour the facility.
Right.
Now, we'd gotten a lot more information, a lot more texts and emails. The air conditioner's out. They've got big fans, the big, like, industrial cooling fans.
The bathroom is in deplorable shape. Horrible condition.
From inside the SPD, I never did hear if she actually came, and if she did, what the result was. Blah, blah, blah. I'll find out when I get it. Okay. I do agree with you guys. Let's pick it up here, and I will go back and read this text. Who has suggested, who's floating the idea of a new police department for the city of Shreveport?
It's been mentioned by, I guess, the mayor. Her CAO, Brian Crawford, has mentioned it.
All right.
I guess in an interview with one of the TV stations, and talking about, the cost to upgrade the current facility is at least $2 million. That's to start. They're calling it a money pit, where you don't know once you remove this wall to fix something.
And the cost of a new building would be?
They're claiming $20 to $25 million. But you know how that always works. There's always change orders. Costs go up.
So 20 to 25 million in
is 30 to 35
is really close to 40
in public speak.
I mean, look at
government speak.
Look at the EPA mandated Shreveport water or sewer update.
Yeah, you find something you need to fix.
$250 million, you mean $500 million.
So I remember when City Hall used to be in the building where the police station is, okay?
Right.
And I remember going to city council meetings there, and I remember when we moved City Hall to Government Plaza on Travis Street. I remember there was a big, swell of we can put the parish and the city together, and we can save some money, and it'll be great, and then we can leave this whole beautiful building for the police department. They'll have their own building. Police chief will have this nice schwanky office that the mayor used to be in.
What was that adjective?
Schwanky.
Schwanky.
And, you'll have the assistant chief will have the CAO's office, and it'll be great. And it was for a while. But that's an old building.
Let's sort of walk through this. And I look, this is just something we talked about off the air. Okay, so the cost, let me get my pen. The cost of a new police station would be $25 million. And let's assume for the moment, do you think it's fair or unfair if I say, okay, it's probably going to be 30? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's scratch out 25 and say it's going to be $30 million. Now, the old building, the current building that is described as a money pit, okay, they say it would take $2 million to fix up, and then this money pit, would it be fair to say, I think, let's set aside $1 million a year. After the initial $2 million, let's set aside another $1 million a year in perpetuity for maintaining the building. Okay? So you've got $30 million upfront cost for a new building. You've got $2 million to redo the old one.
Right.
And then $1 million a year, it would be 30, 28, it would be 29 years. You following me now? It would be 29 years of maintaining the old building at $1 million a year, plus the $2 million up front.
Sure.
It would be 29 years of maintaining the old building before you reached the cost of a new building. Now, in that 3 decades, if you spent the $30 million for a new building, you're also going to have the cost of maintenance also. So, you tell me.
I know. That building. If I'm the person in charge of making this decision, that building, you need to just move on from it. There's too much in it to fix up. There are too many things wrong with it.
It would cost $2 million.
Just to be clear,
that's what they think.
The $2 million is just to fix the air system and some other minor things. It's not for a complete overhaul, and we're going to take care of every problem this building has.
If we're looking to build from scratch, then let's put this in that big Cross Bayou thing. Let's put another government structure down there. Why not?
Let's put it in Sears.
Sears isn't bad either.
from inside the SPD. I do agree with you guys that we don't need a brand new building. We can just retrofit one of the existing buildings around town, one of the ones we already have. 28 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. State Attorney General Jeff Landry in less than 10 minutes. Traffic and weather, and Erin has local news up next on KEEL. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update.
Starting to see some backed up traffic on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Oldman Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
No more online payment for water bills in Bossier City after a data breach is discovered. Anyone that used the city's website to make a payment of their Bossier City water bill could be at risk. You're urged to check your bank account for any suspicious charges. Several water customers have alerted the city to unauthorized charges on cards they used to pay their city water bills. A cybersecurity expert has been brought in to investigate. Investigation into a racist letter to a mayoral candidate is underway. Matt Parker with the latest.
Caddo Commissioner and mayoral hopeful Stephen Jackson received a racist, hate-filled flyer at his home Wednesday morning. The letter featured an image of Jackson superimposed on a photo of former President Obama being hung and a message that warned Jackson to leave the race and leave the Confederate monument alone. The FBI told KSLA Thursday that they are aware of the situation and are ready to investigate if local authorities determine there has been a federal offense. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Could Shreveport be getting a new police station? According to CAO Brian Crawford, Mayor Ali Tyler says the potential project would cost $20 to $25 million. He says the current facility is a money pit and would cost more than $2 million to upgrade. However, before the issue could go to voters, Tyler would have to be reelected. Scammer back in jail after another scheme is foiled by police. According to authorities, Wade May is once again behind bars after he allegedly was caught using a reloadable pay card that had a zero or negative balance to get cash advances. If you love vacationing along the Florida Gulf Coast, listen up. Toxic algae continues to choke off the beaches along the west coast of Florida as the deadly red tide bloom continues to kill fish. Christian DiMarzio from Orlando said he and a friend were calling beach resorts to make sure they were clear of the deadly algae.
I am concerned about it coming up here, yeah. Before we came over to this beach, I looked into it because I'd heard it was coming all the way up the west coast. And we almost went to the east coast instead, but we called around and it looked like it was fine.
Pinellas County officials worry they may soon be forced to close their beaches as the red tide approaches their waters. New voting machines are coming to Louisiana, but the price is now set around $90 to $95 million, up from the projected $60 million. The recent bidding process was also accused of being rigged by a contractor that was passed over for the voting machine purchase. Secretary of State candidate A.G. Crow says he's doing his part to have the activity investigated.
I put together a memo to the Attorney General's office asking them to look into this alleged irregularity and see exactly what's going on.
He says Louisiana residents cannot afford such a massive purchase being fumbled by suspicious activity. Aretha Franklin fans are remembering the singer at her birthplace in Memphis, and some of them shared their memories with Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Standing in the front yard of 406 Lucy Street, where Aretha Franklin was born, I met Aretha Jones. She's a longtime fan of the singer, and yes, she was named for her.
My mother loved Aretha Franklin.
Jones told me she comes from a gospel family, and those were the albums that really spoke to her.
That's what I grew up listening to. My mother and father had all of her albums and everything.
Aretha Franklin's birthplace is now littered with flowers, teddy bears, notes, and other memorials to remember the Queen of Soul's roots. In Memphis, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
News from the grocery world today. Kroger is testing driverless cars to make grocery deliveries to customers. It's being piloted right now in a Phoenix suburb. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. So GeekCon kicks off tonight, but this is interesting. So tonight from 6 till 9 at the Shreveport Convention Center, well, actually 6 until the festivities end.
Right.
It's like this big red carpet sort of opening, but anybody can go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. Tell me about this.
And they're showing the movie, what is it? The
Nightmare Before Christmas.
This begins at 7.
That's free.
And that movie theater they got set up inside the convention center will seat like 2,000 people.
Okay, let me see if I've got all this right. The biggest Friday night ever is what the bullet points say. Free military and first responders, that thanks to Batteries Plus bulbs. Free parking tonight and I guess all weekend, thanks to Papa Lock. Kids 10 and under free. The whole, our what is it, title sponsor this year is Margaritaville. The 25th anniversary of the Nightmare Before Christmas in the panel room at the convention center, thanks to Landers Dodge. Movie starts at 7. And see, that's the whole point. Doors open about 6. More than 100 of the vendors. There are this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, going to be more than 100 vendors. 100 or so of them will be there tonight. So that like you can walk around, you can see all the cool stuff, you can go to the movie. Then after, it's not like they're just going to shut the doors right there after the movie's over. You can hang out. So it's basically It says 6 to 9.
Right.
But it's really 6
to whenever.
till it's
Ish.
done.
Let me just tell you, too, about the best deal for GeekCon is to snap up those weekend passes. They're just $25. And if you know anything about like the San Diego Comic-Con or the one they do in Dallas, those tickets are over $100. You're going to get in all weekend on your $25 pass, and you may wonder, why do I need to go more than one day? Well, because there's different panel discussions each day. They're showing different movies. All kinds of different folks will be around, and you never know what's going to pop up at GeekCon.
And the number of people that will be attending over the 3 days, once again, we estimate in the range of 15,000 people.
And I just want to
Makes
say,
it even more awesome.
yeah, we are involved in putting on this event through our company, our corporate headquarters, Town Square Media in New York City. And
where is it?
New York City.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, for this city, this is a monstrosity of an event. It's 15,000 people with money to spend. They're not all locals. They're coming from out of the area. They're going to spend big bucks in our town this weekend, and we need to open our arms and welcome them.
I almost said GeekCon. GeekCon kicks off tonight at 6, Shreveport Convention Center, and all weekend long. You can look online, I think, geekcon.com.
Yep.
Or something similar. 739, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we have some heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning, 742. It's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Back again, and as always, more than welcome, the Attorney General for the state of Louisiana, Mr. Jeff Landry. Hey, Mr. Jeff, welcome back to Keel. How are you today?
Good morning.
Okay, so I've always said the best defense is a good offense. And I saw this story last night, and I thought this is a perfect example. Explain to Keel listeners what the state of Louisiana, specifically you and Secretary Schroeder, are doing to ensure the Second Amendment rights of customers of Citibank and Bank of America.
Okay, so let's start back. About 4 or 5 months ago, Citibank and BOFA decided that they were going to engage in social policies and be basically the social police and use their corporate and their market influence to try to bend the will or affect citizens, especially in regards to their Second Amendment rights. So what they did was they put out policies that said they would no longer extend financing, okay, to manufacturers of certain types of firearms. And Citigroup in particular said it would no longer do business with retailers who sold firearms to people under 21 years of age.
Excuse me a second,
Okay,
Mr.
so-
Literally what these two financial institutions are saying to their customers, to America, is if you want to exercise your constitutional rights and run a business, don't depend on us to help you.
That's correct. That's correct. And you know, one of those banks, I don't remember exactly. I think it's Bank of America, received a whole lot of bailout money. All right, at the taxpayers' expense. On top of the fact that they get their lending power from the Federal Reserve, okay, which is supported by the U.S. taxpayers, you know, and the government. And so, you know, about 4 months ago, Treasurer Schroeder and I, Representative Blake Miguez, you know, I can't say enough about the members of our legislature from the House of Representatives. They stood strong with us yesterday at the Bond Commission. And so what happened was we made a dust-up of it about 3-4 months ago. The governor's people, you know, were basically trying to paint us as a bunch of whacks because, again, you know, it's amazing. The governor claims he's for the Second Amendment, but yet every time he gets an opportunity to stand up for it, he falls down. And so we passed a resolution 4 months ago asking for the applications of people who wanted to do business with the state, particularly on this bond sale. We were hiring financial agents, okay? And in the questionnaire we put as to whether or not any of the applicants had a policy which would restrict or infringe or violate a citizen's Second Amendment rights. And Citigroup and Bank of America, their response was no. And I was like, well, wait a minute, that contradicts everything that we've seen in the public square, all the public comments that their executives made. It completely contradicts their written policy. And so the treasurer wrote to me and asked me for an advisory opinion as to whether or not their answers were squared with
their policies,
with their application.
Yeah.
Right. And I said no, and they should be disqualified of that. And yesterday we had a big debate about it, and we voted 7-6 to not do business with Bank of America or Citigroup in regards to this particular bond.
Mr. Jeff, this is not a paltry sum that they were in line to receive from the state. It was, what was it,
$600 million. That's
And
correct.
one of it was for a big highway project in Shreveport, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. And now look, let me just so that the listeners out there, you know, don't get it wrong in the print media. I know y'all guys would never distort the truth like many in the media do. But just so they understand, that we had 19 financial institutions, including Bank of America and Citigroup, who applied to represent the state in this particular bond raising. So this in no way impacts the ability of us to go and get that money raised and get those projects going. That just, it's kind of like hiring a lawyer, right? Or hiring an accountant, right? Or a financial advisor. We just said in a great and proud way, in standing up for Louisiana citizens, that we don't want to be represented by people who in dark boardrooms decide how we in Louisiana conduct our business.
I'm curious by some of the votes. Of course, the governor's legal counsel, the Division of Administration's legal counsel voted against you. The Senate President, John Alario, voted against you, and Senators Eric LaFleur, who I would have suspected would have been on the other side. Were you surprised by some of the votes?
No, because, listen, the Senate has become a lapdog for the governor. All right? It's been that way for the last 3 years. The great news is that in next year's elections, we're going to have 16 open Senate seats, and we could finally have an opportunity to elect some conservatives, some real true Republicans in the Louisiana Senate. But no, I wasn't surprised. What was interesting, though, is especially Senator LaFleur, the fact of the matter is that when he ran the last time, of course, and he's a Democrat, he ran big on Second Amendment. Now, he's not up for election again. He can't run. He's term limited. But what's interesting is he also is a bond counsel. He's a bond lawyer, sitting on the bond commission. But we don't. I don't want you all to think that's a conflict of interest in Louisiana. Of course, we don't have any of those. But you know, that's the interesting part is that here we have people who claim to stand up for the Second Amendment. Look, you know, Representative Miguez gave the governor's representatives a number of opportunities to say, hey, we think what Bank of America and Citigroup are doing is wrong, and they failed to do so.
So what is the next step for Louisiana as far as what are we going to do with our $600 million? I mean,
what we're going to
other
do
banks.
is we're going
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes, exactly. We've got Wells Fargo, we've got Chase, we've got 17 other large financial institutions who have experience in these types of transactions that we're going to evaluate their applications, and then in probably about 30 days or so, we're going to choose one of them. We're going to go about our business, but the good news is that in Louisiana, we stood up for the nation against corporate social policing. That's a big thing, because quite honestly, I'm sick and tired of boardrooms trying to determine the conduct of American citizens or Louisiana citizens. The ability to set policy in the state of Louisiana belongs in our capitals. That's the democratic way.
State Attorney General Jeff Landry, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, 749, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Your Money Now is next. Here's Ruben.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we have some heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. A few clouds and a chance of a late-day shower. High today, middle 90s. .52, time for Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints host Arizona tonight in the second preseason game for both. Whether Drew Brees sees his first action remains to be seen. Sean Payton, when asked about his quarterback's playing time earlier this week, said, "We'll see." Last night, Tom Brady saw extensive action in a Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles, completing 19 of 26 passes for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 37-20 win. Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles had to leave the game in the second quarter with a shoulder injury incurred on a strip sack that resulted in a 64-yard fumble return for a Patriots score. Washington slipped past the Jets 15-13, and the Packers walloped Pittsburgh 51-34. Former Louisiana Tech standout Tramon Williams had a pick six on the game's first play to get Green Bay rolling. The Angels had the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the fourth, and a 6-3 lead. A one-hop smash to Urickson Profar led to a 5-4 triple play and set up a Rangers 8-6 comeback win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Is that Aretha?
It is.
That's why we're not talking. We're listening. She doesn't start singing for a while, though.
Love her.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. So what's your favorite Aretha Franklin song of all time?
I'm not sure. I Say a Little Prayer's good. The Precious Lord, it gets me every time.
Yeah.
Of course, Respect, but I mean, we've heard Respect over and over. But I mean, there is no other song in the world that you could go Respect, and immediately anybody you ask that to would know who that is. Even though she didn't do the original, I found out today for the first time. That was Otis?
Otis.
Did not know that.
Meaning Otis Redding,
Yeah.
not Otis from Mayberry.
But you say, you get any of these millennials and tell them Respect, they'll know Aretha Franklin.
Wow.
They'll know it.
It's the OJs in the hall. Never seen anything like it. So I saw that her net worth was around $60 million.
Mm-hmm.
I was fascinated by, she wanted to be paid in cash.
Yeah.
You know, that always comes back to bite you on the ass.
Oh, you know what I learned about her?
What's that?
She had a child at age 12.
And another at 14.
Another at 14.
7:57. Here's Hannity on KEEL.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And I'm a little concerned 82 days out. Number one, I don't see the sense of urgency. Not that I would necessarily expect it in a midterm election year, but I don't see the sense of urgency for people that like the president's success and like the fact that things are getting better and, you know, millions of jobs are created and burdensome regulation has been decimated and taxes have been lowered. And I'm not sure how you make the case that the tax cuts that Americans see in their checks every week or every other week or every month, depending on how they get paid, that somehow they're not looking at those thousands of dollars as crumbs. They're looking at it as real money in their pocket that helps their families.
The Sean Hannity Show from coast to coast later today.
Hey, I recently gave my home a facelift. I did it the best, simplest way possible. Brand new custom blinds, thanks to my friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Now through August the 29th, you can save up to 35% off and take an additional 5% off site-wide just by using the promo code Hannity. That's up to 35% off plus an additional 5% off site-wide. Blinds.com, promo code Hannity. Rules, restrictions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some backed-up traffic on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
We just made the most interesting bet that we may in some way relate to you in the first segment.
Maybe so.
3 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. Miss Erin, local news in just a second.
A water billing problem, and we're talking Bossier, not Shreveport today. But could Shreveport be getting a new police station? We'll talk more about that, too. And a bit of a concern about the measles.
Speaking of, when we bring up a topic like, does Shreveport need a new police station? The people in the know who have been in city government, who have been in public service, who are just smart and go back 25 or 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
They are awesome because they come out of the, pardon me, woodwork to give us information that nobody else has.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait until we tell you what we found out about that building.
Yeah.
Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Water billing system shut down due to a potential breach. We get more on that from Matt Parker.
Bossier has shut down its online water bill payment system following a potential data breach. According to a statement from officials, several customers alerted the city of unauthorized charges on their accounts after they paid their water bill. A cybersecurity expert has been hired to investigate the potential breach, and experts are working on the site's software. If you notice any unauthorized charges on your account, contact your bank immediately. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Caddo Commissioner and mayoral hopeful Stephen Jackson got a racist, hate-filled flyer at his home this week. The letter featured an image of Jackson superimposed on a photo of former President Barack Obama being hung, and a message that warned Jackson to leave the race. The FBI now says they are investigating the situation. Could Shreveport be getting a new police station? According to CAO Brian Crawford, Mayor Tyler may ask Shreveporters to vote yes on a new police headquarters next year. Crawford says the potential project would cost $20 to $25 million. He says the current facility is a money pit and would cost more than $2 million just to upgrade. However, before the issue could go to the voters, Tyler would have to be reelected. Health alert today. Federal officials say measles outbreaks have been confirmed in several states. Louisiana is on the list of 21 states with measles cases. Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma are also included. So far, more than 100 people in the affected areas have contracted the virus. Health officials say measles are especially serious for babies and children under age 5. They say parents should take steps to protect their children. The first medical pot is on track to be planted today after a successful meeting between the Ag Department, the Ag Center, and GB Sciences. It's a temporary go-ahead for GB, who provides the plants for LSU. Ag Commissioner Mike Strain telling KEEL News they had to survey the facility before giving the thumbs up.
We have to look at that prior to when they put the plants in to make sure that everything is up to par, that it's clean, that it's in a proper environment to grow the product.
The first medical marijuana expected to hit select pharmacies beginning in November. Education Superintendent John White says it's time to start paying our state's teachers more money. White says that the recovery of the economy has helped with stability in the budget, and now's the time to make sure teacher pay keeps up with competition. He says the message is very clear.
We have to increase teacher pay. It has to happen now. We should consider as we do that how we're being sensitive to teachers who are most in demand.
White says the state has the biggest need in STEM teachers, adding the biggest demand for talent is not other state school systems, it's other industries. Shortly after her death yesterday from pancreatic cancer, Aretha Franklin's family issued a statement, quote, "In one of the darkest moments of our lives, we're not able to find the appropriate words to express the pain in our heart. We've lost the matriarch and the rock of our family." Aretha Franklin died at age 76. She was the first female solo performer to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And from Georgia, where police say a man is accused of crawling into bed with his son's girlfriend and trying to have sex with her. The man now claims he was sleepwalking, but he's facing a rape charge. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Here's Ruben.
Starting to see some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98, partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line always 318-392-1884. During the break, during the commercial break before local newscast, I don't know what you were doing, but I know what you were doing. You're posting the Jeff Landry, State Attorney General Jeff Landry interview. Mm-hmm. And just out of the blue, she's going along kind of talking to herself. And I have friends of mine, I don't know if you know any people like this, who they get so focused at things that they talk to themselves and don't realize it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, sometimes you get so focused that you talk to yourself and don't realize it.
All the time.
and you were doing the Jeff Landry post at KEELnews.com, and you're typing, pounding away. And at one point you go, I mean, you're speaking in tongues.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
Bizarre.
I know.
It's like one of those upper
Gibberish.
level channels on cable.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a tongue of fire over your head. And you said Def Landry. And I went,
I did, yeah.
And I said, is that what your, and you goes, what? I said, is that your favorite band or is it Jeff Leppard? And I'm thinking, what are you doing down there? So the Jeff Landry interview, I've already had people in this building at the other end of the hall in the sales region ask me if it's up and going because they didn't get a chance to listen.
Yeah, it's up right now. KEELnews.com. If you missed it, you can go back and read all the information about it, how the Bond Commission voted, hear the complete interview with him.
And if you don't know the story, just read Erin's text and then listen to the interview because Jeff Landry is, for Louisiana and bluntly put for America, standing up for the Second Amendment because there are banks, major financial institutions that are saying, if you want to exercise your Second Amendment constitutional right, we won't help you or your business. It's interesting to me. And we started talking earlier this morning, and the idea has been floated for some time. And, in fact, it was your buddy Dan KEEL.
Yep.
Who put up on Facebook, a month or so ago. He just started his own little informal poll when the story came out about the air conditioner not working and just all sorts of infrastructure, if you will, problems at the current police department, current police station headquarters. And he sort of floated the idea, does Shreveport need and would Shreveport pay for a new police station? And so who has come up with and who gave the $25 million estimate for the new building?
Brian Crawford told that to a member of the media, I believe, talking about, to build a new police station. Now, I got sent this article going back to the beginning of the Keith Hightower days. This is an article from the Shreveport Times.
In fact, almost from it actually goes back to literally the latter days, the final days of the Bo Williams mayorship.
Former Mayor Bo Williams says he acted in the best interest of Shreveporters when he signed a $4.5 million contract to construct a police building. The signing of the contract 4 days before Williams left office has been a sore point for Mayor Keith Hightower. Construction of the police building was supposed to begin Wednesday with demolition of the police department's parking garage off Snow Street.
Pardon me, where is that in relation to the current SPD headquarters?
It's right adjacent to it. Right next door.
Is that, so Snow is one of those side streets?
Yeah, it's the one that goes a diagonal behind the station.
Remember a million years ago when Keith was still mayor and we did the 94.5 remote from the police headquarters parking lot?
Vaguely.
Is that like Snow Street, that little
Yeah, that diagonal that goes to the back of it.
I got you. Okay, go ahead.
Hightower postponed the demolition while other alternatives are considered. City Hall offices are adjacent to the police department, which faces Murphy Street. If City Hall relocates to N.O. Thomas Plaza,
which it eventually did,
you bet, police department can move into those vacant offices, which they did. Williams said in a news release issued Thursday that the city council voted against moving City Hall downtown back in '94. Renovations have been done to various parts of City Hall and council chambers, and offices are being renovated at a cost of $750,000. So we spent all that money to renovate the old City Hall so they could stay there. Then we decided to move anyway.
Wait, so just let me clarify because
government at work.
This is confusing to me. So former Mayor Bo Williams in the fall of, when was Keith elected? Fall of 98?
I guess. I'm not sure of the year.
So former Mayor Williams, prior to his departure from office, decided to build a new police headquarters building on the site of the garage. Is the garage still there?
Oh, yeah, they still have it. That's where cops park.
Okay.
That's where they park at.
There's parts of town I never go to, and that is one of them.
Now, don't get me wrong. Bo Williams didn't do this all by himself.
No.
This had to be approved and all that.
But there were plans for a new police headquarters building on the site of where the garage is now.
Yes.
And the cost would have been how much?
$4.5 million.
And if we do it now, it's going to cost how much?
$25 million.
Well, let's say if it was going to be 4 or 4.5 then, let's say it would have been, God, if you increase it by 100%, it's still $7 or $8 million. and now it's 25, and we were thinking, well, does that really mean 40?
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about. And I'm like you. Don't we have something out there that we could use for police headquarters?
I got to tell you, I've said 100 times, there's an empty building getting ready to be empty at Mall St. Vincent. And you know what? There's a garage. I assume they need a garage area for maintenance. I don't know if the garage at Sears Auto is big enough.
No.
But there's going to be a whole bunch of bays there that aren't being used for anything.
I don't know.
The cost of renovation, was this also from Mr. Bryan, the CAO, from Brian Crawford?
Yeah, Brian Crawford. I have reached out to them this morning to see if he could possibly join us to talk about it.
The cost of renovating the building, new building would be about $25. The cost of renovation, he said, would be about $2 million, or was that just to upgrade the air conditioner and fix the problems they have with that?
Yeah, that was just for the major air conditioning problem where, it's 80 degrees all over the place, and some other minor maintenance. That's not for a complete overhaul of the building and fixing everything.
Let's look for a contractor right now. Hey, contractors. Hey, builders. Hey, developers. If you were going to do a renovation, air conditioning and heating system included of the Shreveport Police Department, could you do it for $5 million? Could you do it for $5 million?
If they
say you can, wait a second now. If they say if you can do the air conditioning and all the ventilation and everything, if you can do that for $2 million, why couldn't you renovate the building for $3 million more? Doesn't that seem sort of logical to you?
It seems logical. Let me just say, Jerry May at KTBS has done a lot of work on this. He's done a lot of inside reporting, and he's tweeting this morning, bad AC, bad plumbing, lots of bad at SPD headquarters. My worry is that it becomes the money pit and the price tag goes well over $25 million to bring it up to where it needs to be.
But if you spend $25 million, okay, let's say you can't $25 million, so let's say it's really going to cost $30. So that's $30 million. Let me walk through the math here. Okay, so let's say we do $5 million up front to renovate, and then put aside $1 million a year to keep it up to date. Okay, so your 5 from 30 is 25 your first year. That's 25 more years. So basically it's 20, is my math right? So you've got 26 years, or is it 24, before you hit the cost of a new building. At which point you would already be paying to keep up the new building. Does that make sense?
Your math doesn't add up.
Yes, it does.
Because you're gonna spend way more than $1 million a year on this building.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Just think about it. If someone tells you bad plumbing in this building, you got to tear up walls. All those pipes have got to be replaced.
So let's say that
that's a lot of
money. If you renovate it once for $5 or $6 million, $8 million, is your maintenance cost per annum going to be $1 million? I don't know, but even if you do, it's still going to be more than 2 decades before you meet the cost of a new building. You follow me?
$1 million a year 10 years gets you $10 million. You've already sunk, let's say, 5 into it.
Okay, so now you're up to.
So you have 5 more years. You're at 15 years.
Yeah. At which point the new building is already going to need work anyway.
I don't know. This is debatable for me, whether you go new or you go upgrade. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I would fall on this.
Parky?
Well, right now they're only throwing $100,000, actually a little bit less than $100K, into the maintenance fund, which every year things get worse, and they're really putting Band-Aid on cancer here every year. So
that's like acupuncture, really.
19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. I'm sure our phones and text lines.
Oh, yeah.
Shreveport Security System text line, 318-392-1884. I see yours vibrating as we speak.
It's blowed up.
We'll get it when we get back. Right now, traffic update. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Starting to see some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer. Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-four past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints host Arizona tonight in the second preseason game for both. Whether Drew Brees sees his first action remains to be seen. Sean Payton, when asked about his quarterback's playing time earlier this week, said, "We'll see." Last night, Tom Brady saw extensive action in a Super Bowl rematch with the Eagles, completing 19 of 26 passes for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 37-20 win. Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles had to leave the game in the second quarter with a shoulder injury incurred on a strip sack that resulted in a 64-yard fumble return for a Patriots score. Washington slipped past the Jets 15-13, and the Packers walloped Pittsburgh 51-34. Former Louisiana Tech standout Tramon Williams had a pick six on the game's first play to get Green Bay rolling. The Angels had the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the fourth, and a 6-3 lead. A one-hop smash to Urickson Profar led to a 5-4 triple play and set up a Rangers 8-6 comeback win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 7. If you're going to sing, okay.
My bad.
Your mic is off.
Yeah.
I wear headphones in one ear.
You can hear me?
The other ear is open.
Oh, it was
so
loud?
Though your mic, I can still hear you singing.
Oh, my bad.
And it's not Aretha-esque.
It's not pleasurable?
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty via the Shreveport Security Systems text line. I got a picture of a building downtown, and that is the
Jody Wagner Federal Building.
And evidently someone was suggesting that as a location for the new police station.
Of course.
Explain what happened with the Wagner Building going back a number of years with, was it Louisiana College?
Yeah, Louisiana College in Pineville was proposing a law school here, and everybody was excited. Shreveport would have our law school. Our kids wouldn't have to go to Baton Rouge or New Orleans to go to law school, and they were moving forward with it. And they got into that building, and they found so many problems, asbestos being the key.
Right.
Now,
when was that building constructed? I don't know.
I'm not sure. But it was the old federal building had been there for a long time, and we built the new federal building just down the road on Caddo and right by the convention center. It's not far, and so this Jody Wagner Federal Building's been vacant for many, many years. Louisiana College had their eye on it, but it looked like it was going to cost them more to renovate it than they actually paid for it.
Wow.
So it was like they bailed. Now, they had other accreditation issues, too. It wasn't just the building issue, but they bailed on doing it. I'm not sure if they actually sold the building back
But
or
the renovation
who
cost
owns it.
of the renovation cost of that building would be substantial for whoever wanted to take a shot at
That
it.
building is loaded with asbestos and other problems.
Let's say the Wagner building for the time being is off the table. I had suggested the Sears, the old Sears at Mall St. Vincent. I said, come on. In fact, I had suggested the Sears building, as had John Andrew Prime.
Yeah.
He had said maybe that would be the great location, a great new location for the State building if they are insistent on moving it from Jordan and Fairfield.
I got another text from, I'm not going to say who, but it was...
You can.
Okay, Jim Talaferro told me. He said, why not look at Millennium Studios, which is vacant downtown? I mean,
Huge
that
parking
building's
area.
not big enough, but I
don't
know
think
they...
so?
Oh, not even close. You got a 4-story building that the police department's in right now.
Yeah.
You'd need way more space, so you'd have to add on to it, which would be fine. You got a big lot there. You could add on and do a lot, and that's almost a brand new building. It's beautiful.
The cost of new, according to CAO Brian Crawford, $25 million. The cost to renovate short term would be $2 million, and then whatever the annual upkeep, annual maintenance would be.
And that doesn't even include the plumbing, which I'm told you're going to have to dig into the ground and replace all the plumbing in that building.
God, maybe we'd strike oil.
Oh, right. Okay.
29 past 8 o'clock. Well, that's not oil. 29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Local
Remember
news.
George Dartoys?
Local news next. Here's Ruben.
Starting to see some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. A shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
No more online payment for water bills in Bossier City after a data breach is discovered. Anyone that used the city's website to make a payment of their Bossier City water bill could be at risk. You're urged to check your bank account for any suspicious charges. Several water customers have alerted the city to unauthorized charges on cards they used to pay their city water bills. A cybersecurity expert has been brought in to investigate. Investigation into a racist letter to a mayoral candidate is underway. Matt Parker with the latest.
Caddo Commissioner and mayoral hopeful Stephen Jackson received a racist, hate-filled flyer at his home Wednesday morning. The letter featured an image of Jackson superimposed on a photo of former President Obama being hung and a message that warned Jackson to leave the race and leave the Confederate monument alone. The FBI told KSLA Thursday that they are aware of the situation and are ready to investigate if local authorities determine there has been a federal offense. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Could Shreveport be getting a new police station? According to CAO Brian Crawford, Mayor Ollie Tyler says the potential project would cost $20 to $25 million. He says the current facility is a money pit and would cost more than $2 million to upgrade. However, before the issue could go to voters, Tyler would have to be reelected. Scammer back in jail after another scheme is foiled by police. According to authorities, Wade May is once again behind bars after he allegedly was caught using a reloadable pay card that had a zero or negative balance to get cash advances. If you love vacationing along the Florida Gulf Coast, listen up. Toxic algae continues to choke off the beaches along the west coast of Florida as the deadly red tide bloom continues to kill fish. Christian DiMarzio from Orlando said he and a friend were calling beach resorts to make sure they were clear of the deadly algae.
I am concerned about it coming up here, yeah. Before we came over to this beach, I looked into it because I'd heard it was coming all the way up the west coast. And we almost went to the east coast instead, but we called around and it looked like it was fine.
Pinellas County officials worry they may soon be forced to close their beaches as the red tide approaches their waters. New voting machines are coming to Louisiana, but the price is now set around $90 to $95 million, up from the projected $60 million. The recent bidding process was also accused of being rigged by a contractor that was passed over for the voting machine purchase. Secretary of State candidate A.G. Crow says he's doing his part to have the activity investigated.
I put together a memo to the Attorney General's office asking them to look into this alleged irregularity and see exactly what's going on.
He says Louisiana residents cannot afford such a massive purchase being fumbled by suspicious activity. Aretha Franklin fans are remembering the singer at her birthplace in Memphis, and some of them shared their memories with Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Standing in the front yard of 406 Lucy Street, where Aretha Franklin was born, I met Aretha Jones. She's a longtime fan of the singer, and yes, she was named for her.
My mother loved Aretha Franklin.
Jones told me she comes from a gospel family, and those were the albums that really spoke to her.
That's what I grew up listening to. My mother and father had all of her albums and everything.
Aretha Franklin's birthplace is now littered with flowers, teddy bears, notes, and other memorials to remember the Queen of Soul's roots. In Memphis, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
News from the grocery world today. Kroger is testing driverless cars to make grocery deliveries to customers. It's being piloted right now in a Phoenix suburb. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 24 away from 9 o'clock. KEEL app is always a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. We're going to talk about GeekCon here in a couple of seconds. You know, occasionally I will utter something that is so profound, such a truism, that everyone stops and looks at me and goes, damn,
yeah,
that's really smart.
Once you get brains, boy.
That is so on the money.
Oh, my goodness.
And basically what I said was, Rick, the engineer, was in here a couple of seconds ago talking about making a donut run, and we were saying really the only place to go is Southern Made. And he was, I don't want to go that far. I said, it's 6 minutes up the road. Don't be a wiener.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I made was, and you can quote me on this forever, in much the same way, and this speaks to Southern Made superiority. In much the same way that a macadamia nut is nothing more than solidified fat, a Southern Made donut is at its core really just solidified pudding.
Oh.
And it's awesome.
My mouth is watering.
GeekCon kicks off tonight at 6 o'clock. Tell me more.
Oh, it is absolutely a great event. Tonight it is military and first responders night. It's free to those folks. Going to be showing the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is like the 25th anniversary of the movie.
Free for all, by the way.
2,000 people can fit in.
Yeah.
The festival is going on all weekend. It is like a Comic-Con is the best way to describe it, I guess. People will be dressed up in cosplay costumes. It is absolutely a cool event. And the reason to go and get the weekend pass for $25 is there are different panels that are going on all weekend, and they're going to be showing different movies as well.
Let's cut this short. When we come back, we will replay a chat we had earlier this week with Greg Adams, who is sort of the dictator of all things GeekCon, and he can fill us in.
Right.
By the way, did you get your Wonder Woman costume back from Porter's Cleaners yet?
I'm going to pick it up today.
They sent it out. Oh,
how's your Green Hornet costume doing?
Lost like airline luggage. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 739. Traffic update.
Starting to see some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon. Otherwise, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app is always a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty this weekend, a huge weekend in the Arklatex, marking the 50th anniversary of GeekCon. Started way back in 1968. Not a lot of people know that. And
Boy, the geeks were different back then.
Perhaps, given the look that Mr. Adams is giving us, I might be a little wrong.
No, actually, it feels like you're exactly right. It feels like I have aged about 50 years.
That's because you are the man in charge. You look, turn this way a little bit.
He's the king of the geeks.
Are you dark circles, or are those dark circles under your eyes, or are you a South Park character? Good Lord,
well,
man.
Yeah, there we go.
But congratulations in advance.
Explain to folks what GeeksCon is.
Okay, it's simple to just say something along the lines of it's Shreveport's Comic-Con, because I think by this point a lot of people understand what a Comic-Con is. They see San Diego Comic-Con International, New York Comic-Con, Wizard Worlds. Geek is so mainstream now that these type of events are covered at a regular pace, but what we've done is we've taken the giant San Diego Comic-Con and we've kind of modeled it to the Shreveport scale.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be as big and crazy expensive as you'll see in San Diego, where single-day tickets can run you $185 to $350.
Whoa.
We're doing like $25 weekend passes. So it's that kind of event scaled to Shreveport.
You know, I've mentioned this to a bunch of friends who, and you can sort of expound on this, who consider themselves outside that GeekCon demographic, and I say, no. Nobody is outside the GeekCon demographic, but the point I was going to make was that it's 15,000 people over 3 days. It's one of the biggest, most successful, most economically impactful occurrences in the Shreveport year.
Yeah, we kind of have moved our goal every year. We kind of have like what's the intent? And originally the intent was to deliver an event that we felt Shreveport deserved, and we still have that intent. But really, to prove to everybody who may feel like they're outside of a geek bubble that everyone literally is a geek has become our purpose. Whether you're somebody who's big into hunting and fishing, but then when Sundays roll around in the fall, you change your entire schedule around so you're in front of your TV for the new episode of The Walking Dead. It's a TV show based on a comic book. You're a geek. If you go out to the movies in the summer and you see the big blockbusters, either your Justice League-oriented movies or your Avengers movies or your Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, Star Wars movies, those are all geek movies.
Do I have a little geek in me?
Everybody does.
And Robert?
Absolutely.
What's Robert's geek?
Well, that's kind of, it's up to you to sort of find it.
Okay.
It's in there. If you come out to GeekCon, you're going to look around and you're going to find something that you're interested in. You're going to find something that you're into. And that's going to be your little sliver of the geek world. And sometimes when you dip your toe into the pool, all of a sudden you realize, hey, this nostalgia feels really good. I came here to meet Eric Estrada from Chips, and now all of a sudden I'm talking to Mick Foley and I'm seeing Chris Sarandon and I'm remembering how cool this stuff is. And now you've got a toy room in your house.
I know you dig into numbers. How big an economic impact is GeekCon to our city?
The last time we had the Convention and Tourism Bureau run the economic numbers, it was a $1.4 million economic impact. Now, that was a couple of years ago, so I would anticipate that number has grown, and this year is our biggest talent year ever. We've invested more into talent than ever before, and talent are the people who you can come and get autographs and take pictures with. So as we build that lineup more, we've also got more vendors than we ever have before. More vendor spaces are sold this year than ever. We're sold out. We've been sold out a couple of times, and we keep trying to fit more in. So we've got more going on than ever before. If we were at a $1.4 million economic impact 24 months ago, and now we have a bigger event, I'm hoping that number increases.
Just as an aside, as far as the demographic thing goes, you said if we are successful. I have friends of mine in their 40s and 50s who are literally, we went last year. It was awesome. Can you get me tickets? I said, I don't know this guy that well, and to be perfectly honest, he's not that friendly about that.
Now, we try to do as much as we can to get everybody in. Like on Friday night, we have free military and first responders. Kids 10 and under get in free. We do free parking all weekend long in the parking garage. That has occasionally filled up too. I don't know how many other events that happen at the convention center annually that fill the parking garage, but that happens to us yearly. There is a lot next to it. There's a lot behind it. All the parking is free that we can provide, and we've got a lot of freebies inside too this year. We're doing full-length feature movies, including The Nightmare Before Christmas and Supergirl. We're doing free escape rooms inside. We've got there's a lot of free stuff happening. The panel discussions where you get to ask questions of the guests. So we try to accommodate as much free as we can.
Should I dust off my Wonder Woman costume and wear that?
We welcome cosplay, Everybody.
Okay.
You'll see, I would say, a good 45 to 75% of our attendees will be in cosplay.
The fact that you answered Erin's question about a Wonder Woman costume with a serious face leads me to believe you are either the kindest man in the world or totally physically and emotionally exhausted. It kicks off Friday, am I right?
Yes,
Give
Friday
us the
night.
hours.
Friday night will be open from 6 until 9. It's our vendor preview night where we don't guarantee that any of the celebrities will be out there, but occasionally they do. Last year, Lou Ferrigno was there the whole time. Friday night is also, again, that free military and first responders, and we're showing The Nightmare Before Christmas that night at 7 o'clock in the panel room. There's 2,500 seats, so everyone's welcome. On Saturday, we open the doors at 10 o'clock, and we go all the way till 7. You'll see all the guests out there. We'll be showing Supergirl that day, all the other freebies and panels that day. And then on Sunday, we're open from 11 to 5. That's the day of our cosplay contest. So everybody who does come out and cosplay, if they want to compete, that'll be happening Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Ticket info, all the information online, I would assume.
Yes, geekdcon.com, spell it geekdcon.com, or you can put the ED after geek. You'll get to the same spot. $25 gets you for the whole weekend, which is 3 days of entertainment. You can't find that kind of stuff around here very often.
Yeah, I got to get my push-up stuff working. Yeah.
Say 49, cough twice, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some backed-up traffic on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Get news, weather, traffic, right here. Breaking news and trending talk is on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
Yesterday, more than 350 newspapers nationwide all ran a very similar editorial condemning the President of the United States for referring to the press as the enemy of the people.
And that so many news outlets could be duped into participating into what is obviously a political stunt is not only disappointing, but disturbing. It suggests their real agenda isn't informing people, even in their editorials, but bending the news to suit a leftist political agenda.
By definition, the press was colluding against the president. The problem is their bias is a danger to democracy.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Hey, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty once again for Twin City Appliance, online at twincityappliance.com. Erin took off just a little early because, bluntly put, I hope she's not listening.
She's not.
When we talk about Twin City Appliance, at this point in our Twin City Appliance live read commercial saga, she really does little more than make the same noise as a velociraptor attempting to, I don't need that, a velociraptor attempting to digest a triceratops. So let me take it from here. Twin City Appliance, online at twincityappliance.com, the longest running. They've been in the biz since, 1984? You're not in business for 30-plus years because you screw up. You're in business for more than 3 decades because you're good at what you do, and that is repair all home major appliances, washers and dryers and refrigerators, ice makers, ovens, ranges. The list is virtually endless. Find out more by looking online at twincityappliance.com or by calling TCA, Twin City Appliance, 318-688-0253. .101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 856. A late-breaking story.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you got. Is this from KSLA? Who's this from?
This is from KSLA.
Okay, go ahead.
A man is in life-threatening condition after being shot in Shreveport early Friday morning. Happened in the 600 block of Airport Drive right after 8 a.m.
I'm assuming North Shreveport, okay?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what part of town that's in, but
Yeah.
guy got shot. He's in serious condition. That's really all the details we got.
Updates coming up at 9 o'clock and all day long. Back Monday morning, 6 till 9, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Kim Commando.
With the weekend upon us, here are some cool ways to explore or work with Google Maps. Kim Commando with your Friday Consumer Tech Update. And it's Digital Life Hacks Week. A life hack is an insider secret to getting things done better and faster. With more than 1 billion users, Google Maps is the world's de facto navigation app. So here are 3 Google Map tricks that will help you use it like a pro. First, make it easy on yourself and save important locations. It couldn't be easier. Just pick a place on the map, press and hold the location, the map drops a pin, and the location is saved. Navigate to it in a flash. Your route will be selected for you. Next, find nearby restaurants by pressing a button named Explore Food and Drinks in this area. It will ask you to select any type of food and instantly show you the nearest locations. Finally, be sure to tell Google exactly how you want to get to your destination. Under Route Options, tell it to avoid highways, if you want the scenery or toll roads, or maybe take a ferry. I'm Kim Commando.
Hey, it's Mike James from Commander.com. You've heard so many times about the importance of protecting your privacy. And not just your privacy, but protecting your life from online hackers. Because anything that's connected to the internet can be hacked. Everyone's at risk. F-Secure takes your internet security seriously. And right now, F-Secure is offering the ultimate package. Get the F-Secure Total Internet Security and Privacy Suite for 2 years and get the F-Secure Sense Security Wi-Fi router for free. That's a $199 value. F-Secure Sense Security Wi-Fi router gives you fast access to the internet while protecting every single connected device in your home, including smart appliances. Hackers use these smart devices as a weak point to enter your network. Sense stops that. With this offer, you can protect all devices connected to your home network and up to 7 devices on the go. This is unparalleled protection. Supplies are limited, so get yours now. f-secure.com/totalsense. That's f-secure.com/totalsense.
Good morning. It's 8:59, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Standby. Fox News is just ahead. In the meantime, traffic update one last time. Here's Ruben.
Starting to see some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound starting at Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun today with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm around and a high of 98. Partly cloudy, low 77 for tonight. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.